Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Newkirk, and I'd like to welcome you back to our YouTube channel. In today's podcast, we are interviewing Mrs. Katrina Walker. Ms. Katrina Walker is the co-founder and executive director of Walker's Winners, a nonprofit organization in St. Louis, Missouri. She co-founded this organization with her son, Jordan Walker, who's the outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Katrina Walker, she has a degree from Harvard University. She also has degrees from Emory University in Atlanta and Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. She has 25 years in public education, and she has taught 9th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grades, served as an IB coordinator and department chair, and led a 400-member National Honor Society organization. She believes that every student deserves access to rigorous and engaging education, regardless of zip code or family's bank account. Her personal statement is the philosophical term of budgeting in 3 dimensions. Katrina has said, personal experience has taught me that one's ability to come to fruition through access to opportunities and resources, coupled with one's own hard work. When we invest in young people, when we help them manifest their potential, not only do we make them better, but we make our communities better because we honor the commitment we should have to each other and to our future. So sit back and stay tuned because this is going to be good. And I'd like to introduce you to Mrs. Katrina Walker. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to segment 5 of our mini podcast series, Budgeting in 3 Dimensions. And I'm talking with Mrs. Katrina Walker. And at this point, we want to kind of give advice to up-and-coming students or people that are looking for possible ways as far as their budgeting techniques are concerned. So for a student just graduating from college, getting ready to start their career, what advice do you have for them regarding their finances based on the lessons that you've learned?
I would actually start my advice probably when they get to college, and that is about being careful with their credit. So when we sent our oldest to college, we made the point of him establishing credit because he was going to need it when he got out of school, but establishing good credit. So he got a credit card with a $500 limit. We talked about paying it off early each month. And establishing, that good credit. And so now that he's a senior, he takes pride in his FICO score, and he is managing that on an ongoing basis. So knowing that credit is a tool, and you want to use it to your benefit, and you want to use college as an opportunity to establish that good credit so that when you're going out and needing to rent an apartment or buy a car, you have that good credit history. The other thing I would say is the importance of getting into the discipline of saving. So you don't make a lot, and it's easy to feel like you don't have enough. But even if you save $5 a month and try to gradually increase it, what's key is the discipline of saving and the recognition that part of what your money needs to do for you is to work for you in the future. And so I would say that would be a key piece of advice. And if you're coming out of college, then you already kind of know that other piece, which is investing in yourself. So training and experience, like there's some good things, like in general, you want to avoid debt. But there are some things that you should see not as debt generating, but as an investment. Like clearly there's debt attached to like further levels of education, but just recognizing that sometimes you have to spend money in order to make money. I mean, I think all the time you have to spend money to make money, but the idea of seeing some of those things as investments in yourself that will give you greater opportunities. So then just to recap, being smart with credit and starting building that good credit history early, being in the discipline of saving, and then seeing opportunities to invest in yourself and be geared more towards that than towards like just spending for the sake of spending. And even that tier of save, and then once you have a nest egg, invest. So, thinking about the difference between saving and investing. And then I'll borrow an idea from a friend of mine. When I visited with her, she was talking to my kids and she kept making the point about being entrepreneurial. Like a lot of times people look at getting out of college and like getting a good job. But really think about how you can create your own opportunities and look for things outside of what's provided in a traditional sense, and think about how can you be entrepreneurial. So those would be the pieces of advice I would share.
Okay. Well, one thing that we really stress in the course is that our ultimate goal for the course is to get people to a state of financial security. And Tony Robbins actually has 5 levels of financial security all the way up to absolute financial freedom. So what final advice can you give the audience regarding achieving financial security in terms of your definition of it?
I think it's always good to be a little bit cautious about like how secure, you are, like, meaning, okay, so there are these tiers clearly. So how to achieve financial security, they're the basics of earning a living wage, earning a decent salary, and that comes from training and preparing yourself to take advantage of opportunities where you'll be paid appropriate to like a living and a thriving wage. And then, the idea of being careful with your spending. A penny saved is a penny earned. Saving so that you have a rainy day fund, and people typically recommend anywhere from 3 to 6 months of your expenses. And then investing so that you're building wealth over time. And then just kind of recognizing that things can happen, right? I mean, that to some extent, financial security feels like a myth in the sense that there are these things that can happen, and you just want to kind of stay ready for, I don't want to say this a myth, but you want to stay ready for those outcomes. So by staying ready, it just means you're constantly vigilant, so that you're just, kind of careful about the things that could happen. I mean, 2008, there was a financial crisis that no one could expect, right? And the nature of the economy changed. COVID-19 came, and it forced us to kind of rethink how society works. So my only point is there's so many things that are within your control and you need to do them. And then recognize that there are some things outside your control, and you're just going to have to manage them the best that you can, hoping, that the way that you've tried to prepare yourself will allow you to do that. And it's certainly people who have prepared themselves well better withstand those crazy turns in the economy and society. So just know that as you're preparing, you kind of have to recognize the possibility of those game-changing moments and realize that your preparation can help you withstand that. I say these things so you're not caught by surprise by them, like that there's some kind of flexibility and awareness. And then as a result, you're kind of doubling down on the things that are within your control to give you as much of an ability as possible to withstand the unexpected.
So in other words, expect the unexpected.
Those are facts. That's
Absolutely.
coming.
Absolutely.
That's coming.
Well, I would like to thank Ms. Katrina Walker for taking the time to give us this invaluable advice that surrounds budgeting in 3 dimensions. And be sure to check out our website at www.jwamoney.com for more information, because a whole lot of information is coming. So thank you so much, Katrina, for taking the time to visit us. A lot of people are going to benefit from watching this interview, and I really much appreciate it.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
All righty. And so that's it. Continue to hold for our mini podcast series dealing with budgeting in 3 dimensions. This is Robert Newkirk, and we're signing off. This is Robert Newkirk, and I would like to thank you for visiting our YouTube channel. If you like some more information about Walker's Winners, feel free to visit their website at www.walkerswinners.org. And also, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and find some more information about us at our website, www.robertfnewkirk.com. Thank you so much for visiting, and I look forward to the next opportunity to talk to you around our theme, budgeting in 3 dimensions.